Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, alongside Mitchell Gunner. Great to have you along. Tonight's show is brought to you by Miracle Automotive and Recovery, both in Stark and McClenny. Call Kirk and Kenny Miracle at 904-368-1114. Miracle Automotive, where miracles happen every day. Let's get the show started, as we always do, with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, and everybody that's joining us, please bow your heads. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for this time, this Friday night, that we're all together here, dear Lord. The On the Spot crew, bringing all the information and everything that's involved with this show to our viewers, and hoping our viewers will like it and take the information that we give and use it as their own. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, the United States of America, the most freest, the most powerful nation in the world today, dear Lord. Thank you for just letting us live in this great country. Thank you for our great armed forces, dear Lord, as they are out there serving us, dear Lord, and helping protect against domestic and foreign terrorism, dear Lord, and anything else that anybody else wants to do to our great country. The men and women, like I said, the active men and women, the men and women that sacrifice it all, dear Lord, their lives and their souls, and also the veterans, dear Lord, that has served in their capacity as well. This is Memorial Day weekend, dear Lord. Let's remember all those, like I said, that has given the ultimate sacrifice, and that's their lives. Thank you for the first responders and everybody that works within that team, dear Lord. Not only locally, but nationally and worldwide, dear Lord. You keep a hedge of protection over those folks, and please bring them back safely to their families as well. Thank you for our truck drivers and anybody that works on the front lines of our great country to make this great country run as it should, dear Lord. Our truck drivers, again, as I said, our farmers, anybody that helps supply the goods and the needs that we need to survive each and every day, dear Lord. Thank you for these unspoken or spoken prayer requests, dear Lord, that you bless each and every one of them. And you know their needs and their wants. You're the ultimate comforter and the ultimate healer, dear Lord. Just thank you and bless each and every one of those. Again, thank you for a wonderful day you've given us, a wonderful weekend that you're going to give us, dear Lord. And again, remember those who sacrificed their lives for this great nation as we celebrate Memorial Day weekend. We ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. And the congregation says,
Amen.
Amen. Let us stand for the pledge. I'm going to ask Michael Nhra if he wouldn't lead us.
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Michael, is she the most beautiful woman you've ever seen?
I'd definitely say she ranks in the top 5.
Yes, she sure does. I can tell you that. Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in as we express our gratitude. We must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter the words, but to live by them, Mitchell. How about that?
I like it.
I love it.
And who said that?
That's a great one. Now we getting in this one. Let me see. I'm going to say that was Thomas Jefferson.
Okay, Mitchell?
Ooh, so many great guys.
Great guys, yes.
That, class of men that helped founded this country.
Yes.
You said Benjamin Franklin?
No, I said Thomas Jefferson.
I'll say Benjamin Franklin. I'm going to go that route.
Thomas Jefferson sounds good.
It sounds, yeah.
Ben Franklin.
Franklin? Okay. Yep. A little bit early.
Okay.
This quote by none other than John F. Kennedy.
How about that? All right. Love John F. Kennedy. Great, great, great. Hey, I've got a couple of quotes of the night too, guys. Really quick. It's not the will to win that matters. Everyone has that. It's the will to prepare to win that matters. One of the greatest coaches in college football that ever lived beside Nick Saban. I should give it away for you. What do you think, Michael?
Well, I was going to say Vince Lombardi.
Okay.
I was thinking.
Okay.
That was What was on my mind?
right.
Bryant.
Paul Bear Bryant?
Yep.
Is that who you go with?
That's a good one.
It is Paul Bear Bryant. How about that? Now I'm going to test Mitchell's skills a little bit. I've learned that something constructive comes from every defeat. Which great coach said that, Mitchell Gunner? Professional coach.
Tom Landry.
You got me on that one.
You're professional? Ditka.
Tom Landry it is. That's why I wanted to test Mitchell's skills.
Good test.
That was a good test. All right, let's move on. Great quotes for tonight, actually. Hey, Memorial Day weekend, guys. Let's remember the ones that have fallen, that has given the ultimate sacrifice for this great country. I don't care what's happening in this country, ladies and gentlemen. This is still the best country in the world today, and it can be fixed. I can tell you right now. We have problems, but it can be fixed.
Well, we have growing pains.
Yes, we do.
That's what I call them. Growing
That's
pains.
good.
Can I interject something?
Absolutely, you can.
And I mean this with all sincerity and no disparaging anybody.
Okay?
But folks, please do not wish anybody a happy Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Michael.
Please
That
don't
is
do
very
that.
true.
This is a solemn occasion to remember those that gave their lives in the performance of their duty for their country. This is, Veterans Day. That's when you recognize and honor veterans.
Yes.
Flag Day, you celebrate the flag, different things like that. Memorial Day, that would be the equivalent of saying, hey, happy 9/11. There's nothing
Right.
happy
No.
about 9/11. There's nothing happy about Memorial Day. This is the
Michael,
time
could
to
you
remember
say that would be more of a solemn holiday?
It's a-
more, yeah,
it's a
more.
very
to
solemn
reflect
Yeah.
on those who sacrificed the ultimate sacrifice to give us the freedoms that we have today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take the time wisely and spend it with your family. And take that time while you're spending it with your family and explain to your kids the reason why we have Memorial Day.
Right. Yeah.
Mitchell.
All right. So, again, you don't see a Byron Bagwell here today because Byron had to work a little bit extra tonight. He wanted to be here so bad. But, hey, he'll be back next Tuesday. We've got a lot of stuff to carry over from last show
That's right.
into that. So, we'll be very well with that. But I do have you alongside Mitchell Gunner. We have a couple of special guests tonight. You'll get into that here in a minute. Super Dave Holland, our producer, Michael Heater, our director, and we got Mr. Austin Stevens in the house that's facing to give us a weather report. So, hey, guys, don't go anywhere because the Friday Night 360 starts right now. Here's the 360 for this Friday night. We begin with breaking news coming out of Putnam County as a serious crash involving 6 vehicles has State Road 20 closed at Gordon Chapel Road east of Hawthorne. Alachua County Fire Rescue is assisting Putnam County and the Melrose Fire Department treating the injured, and the Shandscare Medical Helicopter took a critical patient from the scene. The investigation by the Florida Highway Patrol is continuing. Over to Marion County, where a man and a woman died last night in a head-on collision, with a pickup truck. Just around 9:10 p.m. A pickup truck, which was headed north on State Road 200 near Southwest 147th Lane, entered the southbound lane to pass traffic. The truck collided with the motorcycle at a high rate of speed, killing both riders immediately. The driver of the truck suffered minor injuries and was taken to Ocala Regional Medical Center for treatment. Wow. Over to Putnam County again, where a pair of unique thefts involving stolen tools from work vehicles was discovered to be part of a larger series of thefts crossing several counties. Reports of stolen tools in Putnam match reports of thefts in Volusia and St. Johns counties. The efforts of crime analysts led to the arrest of Stephen Baker, 38, and Desiree Blunt, 32, of Satsuma. Blunt was arrested and charged with burglary and grand larceny. She was taken to the Putnam County Jail and held on a $5,000 bond. Baker was arrested and charged with 2 counts of larceny and 1 count of burglary. He was held without bond. Looking around the area, the American Legion Post 153 in Lake Butler will host, ladies and gentlemen, a Memorial Day observance at the Veterans Memorial next to the Masonic Lodge on West Main Street. That event starts at 9:30 a.m. on Monday. Discussion about a new elementary school for the Keystone Heights and Lake area has begun, with Keystone Heights Mayor Karen Lake pushing to replace the aging buildings at Keystone Elementary School. The Keystone City Commission has already unanimously approved the upgrades and has moved on to approach Clay County. Staying in the Keystone Heights area, Brooklyn Boys Pizza will be closing Sunday, June 14th through Monday, June 22nd for a 50th birthday celebration.
It's a heck of a birthday party. For
Boy, 8 days worth, Mike?
I'm telling you.
They need the break, though.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, great pizza, by the way. A burn ban has been instituted in Alachua County until June 3rd due to dry conditions. All open fires, including campfires, bonfires, and fireworks, are prohibited this weekend, ladies and gentlemen, in Alachua County. Gilchrist County also has a burn ban in effect, and Marion County has placed a voluntary burning restriction due to the dry conditions. All open burning in the city limits of Stark is expressly prohibited by our city ordinance. With that, here is your full weather forecast with Austin the Storm Chaser Stevens. Welcome in, Austin.
This weather report brought to you by Austin's Weather Service out of Keystone Heights. Find Austin's Weather Service on Facebook and have a detailed local forecast sent right to you.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend so far, and hopefully you don't light any fires. Don't recommend burning anywhere within North Florida, Northeast Florida, and North Central Florida. Temperatures will be in the mid-90s as of today. Tomorrow, lower 90s, but our thunderstorms come back by Memorial Day and up through next week, and hopefully that will make things more moist for our hurricane season coming up. Speaking of hurricane season, tax-free weekend is this weekend. Message Austin's Weather Service for the latest. Back to you, David.
All righty. Thank you for that weather report, Austin. And, of course, we'll have a closing weather report here in just a little bit. But right now, Mitchell, why don't you give us just a little bit of a hint who we got, just real quick.
Okay, tonight we actually have 2 guests, not
What?
one, but 2.
Who scheduled that? Did me and you schedule that?
Yes, we did.
Oh, boy. All right.
Are you surprised? Have you forgot? Have you been working too hard?
I have been. I can't count more than 2. All right.
So we got Clark Papke. He is
All
the public relations person for Torrance Racing.
All right.
Of course, Steve Torrance is a 3-time world champ in Top Fuel dragster.
He's a legend.
He is going to be
Yeah.
a legend.
Yeah.
He's doing really great, and especially this year, he is doing great as well. And we'll probably talk a little bit about that with Clark.
Right.
And also, we have Andrew Riley, which is an Olympian hurdler for Jamaica.
He's on the Jamaican Olympic team.
That's correct. And
Well, hey.
he's been working out over at University of Florida with Grant Holloway, another great hurdler. And I tell you, they are gearing up for them Olympics coming up over in Tokyo.
All right. Well, we'll have them guys on here in just a few minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. And now here's your favorite segment that brings back a little history, brought to you by our great media partners, WEAG Eagle Country 106.3 FM, Chuck and Mary Kramer and Lynn Vellis, and who I work for on Friday nights during football season. And, of course, our other great media partner, the Bradford County Telegraph. Hey, if you want a headline, you make sure you get a paper. John Miller, John Ryan, Elizabeth Tillman, Mark Crawford, and, of course, Cliff Smelly. Here's what's the date. These are the sports headlines from the Bradford County Telegraph the last week of May and what year. Tigers take the state. Indians go 1-for-1 against the Rams and the Raiders. And the Tigers defeat the Hornets and Panthers in a spring jamboree game. Was that May of 2015, May of 2017, or May of 2019? Again, Tigers take the state. Indians go 1-for-1 against the Rams and the Raiders, and the Tigers defeat the Hornets and Panthers in the Spring Jamboree game. Was that May of 2015, May of 2017, or May of 2019? Thanks to our strong pitching, solid defense, and generated offense, Union County defeated Chipley 4-3 in a 1A semifinal game, and then defeating three-time defending state champion Chiefland 5-1 to take the state girls softball championship. Keystone Heights gained more than 200 yards of offense in defeating host Interlochen 21-19, but its offense crossed midfield only twice, Mitchell, in a 12-0 loss to Crescent City in the spring football jamboree of that year. And then Union County would finish as the only undefeated team in the spring jamboree. The Tigers would earn a 7-0 victory over host school Hawthorne, as well as a 14-7 win over Newberry. Tigers take the state. Indians go 1-for-1 against the Rams and the Raiders, and the Tigers defeat the Hornets and Panthers in a spring jamboree game. Was that May of 2015, May of 2017, or May of 2019? Again, hey, this is the last chance, right, Michael? Explain what's going on tonight.
That's it.
With this.
That's exactly right, folks. This is the last show for the month of May. Can you believe, like Austin said?
Yeah.
I mean, here it is. We're already coming into June.
Yeah.
So this is the last broadcast for the month of May. You want to get in on that $25 gift certificate from the Downtown Grill. This is your chance. Feel free to send us a message on Facebook so that we can see your answer. All the correct entries are thrown into the old fire helmet. We pull a name every month. This month, I believe, will be our 8th winner.
That is correct.
Could be a repeat because it could be.
That's right.
It could be Lydia Morris again.
It could be.
Could be.
Shirley
Raymond
Bagwell.
Knoll. Could be. Yeah, could be.
Raymond Knoll.
Yeah, could be. And it could be somebody who has not won before.
Right.
You know, Donald Trump.
Wow.
Well,
Hey, if Donald,
you never know.
I wish
Just saying.
Donald would call into the show.
There you go.
All right. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, waiting for your answers. We're going to check some comments and do a couple of things really quick here before we get to our interviews, because we got a couple of great guys that's going to be on with us tonight.
We are.
Mary says, hello to all of us, and how we doing? We are doing great, Mary. Thank you. Hello, Mom, Miss Shirley Bagwell. I'm glad to see that you're back. I've missed you. I haven't seen you for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I hope I get to see you sometime this week or at trivia on Thursday. By the way, we didn't have trivia last night because I had a wedding I had to do, but we will be back next Thursday in full gear, and that answer will still be the same. It will be sunny. David, don't forget to pray for me. We will, that's for sure. Mr. Byron Bagwell, our co-host, says, good evening, brothers, sisters, patriots, infidels, and what else, Mitchell? Miscreants.
Yes.
Good evening, all from Raymond No. Sharon Petterprin says, the model, says David, she's a patriot. I know she is. Yes, she is. We are patriots too. PSA, a Memorial Day ceremony will be held on Monday at 10 a.m. at the Veterans Memorial Park in downtown Stark.
That's correct.
So not only does Union County have one, we're going to have one as well. Memorial Day is a federal holiday in the United States for honoring and mourning the military personnel who have died in the performance of their military duties while serving in the greatest armed forces in the world today. May we never forget. You know who said that? Our very own Sheriff Gordon Smith. Hello, Gordon. How are you, my brother? Hope you're doing well. And you're exactly right.
I know him.
I do too.
Yeah.
He's a super nice guy.
Yes, he is. Don't forget those who served but survived. They placed their lives on the line too. I understand Memorial Day is for those who gave it all, but remember those who served were willing to do the same. Miss Shirley Bagwell, very nice quote.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is there. And
That's
November
correct.
11th is the Veterans Day, where we honor everyone who served,
Right.
survivors and those who did not make it.
But
back.
you know, every day before Veterans Day comes up,
Right.
if you see a veteran, shake their hand and thank them.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't have to wait till that day to thank
And
a
you know,
veteran.
if you see, we've done this before, Dave. All of us have. If you see somebody in uniform this weekend and you know they're on duty, if you can, I'm saying if you can, pick up that gentleman's tab, if you can, or at least offer to buy them some tea or something. You know, just to show hey, that you're thinking about them and that we appreciate each and everything that they do each and every day. I'm a former veteran, United States Navy, always a veteran. Dave, so is Dave. And, Mr. Bagwell, veteran as well. So we love our veterans. We love all our men and women in the armed forces. They're the ones, Mitchell, that keep this thing rolling each and every day.
That's right. They are our shield.
Yes, they are. Big time. Mary says May the 15th, and right now, May the 15th. Oh, May of 15th.
Oh, 15th.
Yeah, okay. I was like, May the 15th, what? Okay, so she's the only answer so far, brother. Okay. Vincent Tucker, good evening, my brother.
Yeah,
hey, Z and Tuck and Z. Hey, I tell you what, they got a great show. Hot topics.
That's right.
Hey, I haven't been able to get on lately, brother. It's just been a crazy 2 or 3 weeks. I'll have to explain that to you. But I'm glad that you can join, and I promise that I will give a call into your show. He's been asking me to call in again. I will call into your show hopefully next week.
And I just want to remind our viewers, if you cannot stay up and watch it because, of the time delay when they go live, you can always go back and check their show out as well. Yep. Later on, as you can do with ours.
Yep, just like ours. That's exactly right. They got a great show. They've had a couple of nice guests on there as well. They got a great show, like I said. So Z and Tuck, Z Zamaya, and Vincent Tucker, who went to my old high school, graduated in '88. Great fellow. He's going to be moving down to Florida, down in the Okeechobee area. Maybe he can come up and hang out with us a night or so.
Or at least stop by on the way down.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Lydia Moore says, hey, I'm late. What's up? All right, real quick, Michael, so we can get moving on. Tigers take the state. This is sports now. Indians go 1-for-1 against the Rams and the Raiders, and the Tigers defeats the Hornets and Panthers in the spring jamboree. Was it May of 2015, May of 2017, or May of 2019? Randy Brooks says 17. Shirley says she didn't hear the question. I'll repeat it again. All right. Tigers take the state, Miss Shirley. That's the Union Tigers. Indians, the Keystone Indians, go 1-for-1 against the Rams and the Raiders. And the Union County Tigers defeat the Hornets and the Panthers in the spring jamboree game. Was that May of 2015, May of 2017, or May of 2019? So we've got a 15 guess. We got Randy Brooks with 17. I'm going to go around the table. David, what are you going to say?
I'm going to say 17, absolutely.
He knows something now, so he's going 17. Michael?
Well, I wasn't sure, but if Dave's that convinced, I'll go with him.
Okay. Mitchell?
I'm going 2015.
You're going 2015.
Yep.
All right. I'm going to go 2017. And I'm going to tell you why. I think this is a giveaway. Jordan Howe played on that team, I do believe. And I believe she's a year behind Autumn. Autumn graduated in 15. So I think it'd be 17. I'm going 17. Shirley's going 17 as well.
Okay.
All right. Everybody's in? Lydia? Come on now. Got a couple of seconds here.
Tick, tick.
Tick, tick, tick.
Hey, take a guess.
Take a guess. Just a stab. Hey, try to get your name in there. Do we have a lot of names in there, by the way?
I'll have to double check the numbers, but I think we've got like 20.
Yeah, and some of them are multiples.
But we got a lot of multiples, yeah. Right. So I think we could honestly say that there's a good possibility that we might get a repeat draw, just because there's so many people that are repeat. But hey, you know what? It could very well be. It could be Brooks.
Could be.
I mean, it could be anybody.
It could be anybody. All right. So the model says 2017. Wanda Gunter says 2015.
Hey, and I'll tell you,
Edwin Petterprint, her husband, 2017. Go ahead, brother.
I know people who won't be in that hat. None of us.
None of us. Raymond No says 17. Lydia Morris says 17. Vincent Tucker says, was planning on stopping on the way down from Arizona. It's according what time of day or night I come through that way. Absolutely. We'd love to have you. Come on. Hey, even if it's not a show night, we'd love to have dinner with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, come on. Lydia Morris.
Because Dave's buying.
That's right. Dave Holland. Vincent Tucker. 2017, he says. All right, man. Well, I guess that's going to be it, Michael.
All right.
Let's see that answer.
And the answers, wait for it. Let's give a drum roll. Let's see if I was right.
Go, Vincent.
May 2017. There you go.
That was a good guess.
Yeah, that was. The only reason I knew that is because of the time frame of Kevin Howe's daughter when she played.
Right.
And I know she was on that team. Yeah. So I want to thank you all for joining us this Friday night. And we'll be right back with some sports, a couple of interviews after we take this quick break.
Hey Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida at David Rodgers Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
Oh, okay, sounds good. Hey, can you hear me okay?
Oh, just great.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you for joining us this Friday night on the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, right alongside the local guru himself, Mr. Pina Colada himself. Did you go to O'Malley's the other night, Mitchell?
No, I didn't.
Oh, no, we found you at O'Malley's. David Holland rode by there, and he said you was at O'Malley's. Dave Holland.
After the work week I've had, I probably need to stop by there.
Yeah, we probably do. Dave Holland, our producer. Michael Heater, our director. Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. We've got a couple of great guests right now. And, of course, it's sports time each and every Friday. The phone line is open right now, ladies and gentlemen. 904-458-7588. If the line is busy, you can leave a message or send us a text, and we'll read your message on the air. You can also try to call back if you wish, or you can message either one of us, or just hang on the line, man. We'll get to your call. But right now, Mitchell, I heard a special voice on that telephone. Why don't you explain to our audience members and our viewers who we have as our first guest?
All right, we have Clark Papke. He is the actual public relations person for Torrance Racing. If you go out to the drag races, you will actually see him behind the scenes.
Right.
Working just as hard as those guys do on the cars. I mean, right. He's got a tough job to do.
Mr. Papke, hey, welcome into On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers. I think you heard the rest of us. The only person we're missing tonight is my other co-host, Mr. Byron Bagwell, but glad that you can join us and taking a few minutes out of your time to join us on the Spot with David Rodgers.
Well, thank you, guys. It's good to be on. It's good to see Mitchell sporting that Torrance Racing polo.
Well, hey, Clark, I didn't have one. I told Mitchell to get me one, but Mitchell was a little stingy and didn't get me one, or I'd be sporting it up. But I am sporting up a Slice and Dice t-shirt. Some of the best barbecue, Clark, if you're ever up this way. Hey, right there in a little town called Lottie, man, they got great hamburgers, great ribs, great chicken. Hey, the barbecue is there
today.
Yes.
Hey, that's southern food. I can definitely take. But guess what? I know a guy who knows a guy who can get you one of those polos.
All right, Clark. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I would appreciate that if you could do that. Welcome in. I appreciate you, Clark. Mitchell, I'm going to let you start up the interview since you got Clark on. And I hope our viewing audience, if they have any questions, tell them to call in. Absolutely.
Oh, definitely. First of all, we want to start things off by you telling our viewers a little about yourself.
Utah boy. Been in with the Torrance Racing team now for 10 years. I've been with them since they started, and been a part of Steve and Kay and Billy, and been a part of them. Been a part of seeing the growth in our team and seeing what's going on. And with that, I've learned quite a bit. But got a big family. Always busy with my kids when I'm home from racing, and also taking care of the team. But other than that, just enjoying my family while we're racing.
That's great to hear.
And I tell you, your kids are all very athletic. I just want to put that out there because, knowing you and stuff, I see your feeds and stuff come across Facebook, and it's just great to see that bond of family that you have away from the track, which you also have a family there at the track when you're doing that too. That team is like a family to y'all.
Well, it is. It's one of those things that, we have two families, like you just said. The race family, which we're around, and I think that's part of our great success that the Torrances have installed in us, that we are family when we're out there at the track. My mama, Kay, She treats us all like her own. And Billy and Steve, I mean, we're just one big family. And then my own personal family, you know, my kids have learned a lot from what I've learned from the Torrance Racing. It's all the little things that you do and perfect that make your performances better or make you a better athlete or a better person.
Hey, Clark, that is a great answer. And, you know, as Dave is scrolling, and I hope you're watching this on the live as well, you know, every picture that I've seen, when it pictures you guys, y'all got this smile on your face all the time, from you to your kids to the Torrances. Is that the way that it always is? I mean, do y'all always have a smile on your face? Because I know life and racing can, you know, they can combine each other together where things don't always go right. Is that just y'all's nature?
You know, it is. You will see some definite looks that are not smiles, but that comes with the process, right? I mean, it's just like I get asked all the time, what's the neatest thing or what's the greatest thing I see from our team? Is it the car going 330 miles an hour at 3.67 seconds? Is it the power? And I have to say no. It's watching those guys after we make a run. That car comes back in, it gets tore down, put back together, and then it goes up there and it does it again. Yeah. It's just incredible. I mean, and you smile, one, because you're around that much horsepower. I mean, which, Mitchell, you know, it just shakes you to the core. And it's just an incredible feeling. But yeah, there's lots of smiles. In the last 3 years, we've had lots of smiles, but we've also had lots of frowns. You know, hey, you can't have success without failure, right?
That's right.
That's right.
That's it. All right. What attracted you to the sport of drag racing, Clark?
So I used to be the marketing director for, I don't know if you guys remember, Jet Hot High Performance Coatings.
Yep.
And I had come from another field and had never been around racing. And my very first experience with drag racing was in Las Vegas right before the SEMA show. And I got to go. I haven't even seen it run yet. I have my oldest daughter with me, and we walk up, and they put me, Tony Carmine, who is one of the NHRA officials, puts me right between Larry Dixon and Tony Schumacher for the very first time. This is when they were touting 8,000 horsepower. Just started with 8,000 horsepower, and there's just how powerful it was. Oh, my gosh. Shook me to the core, and I was hooked. I was hooked as a fan first, and then it's grown into where I do now.
Have you ever participated in any type of drag racing or any other form of racing?
You know what? No, I'm a big-time outdoorsman, but my whole life was around basketball, athletics and that, and just had never – the only racing I'd ever done is maybe on my bike as a kid, seeing who could pedal faster than everybody else. But no, that was my introduction to automotive racing.
I tell you what, if we ever have a bracket race right before or right after the Gator Nationals and y'all are still in town, you know, getting some shakedown runs and stuff like that after the Gators, if you want to take my car down the strip, I'll let you do it.
Mitchell, I appreciate the trust, but I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the greatest feeling of all is just actually standing there and feeling those cars take off. I'll do that anytime versus drive one.
There you go. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Clark Papke on. He's the PR rep for Torrance Racing. Another question here for you, Clark. How did it come about for you to work for the Torrance family?
Oh, wow. So what happened is, going back to the company I worked with prior, they moved back to North Carolina. And they wanted me to relocate back into North Carolina, leave Salt Lake City. And I said no. I love the West. I love the mountains. And so they gave me a choice. Either I go out there or I stay home. And so I stayed home. And well, I'd also shattered my back. And so I was in a healing process at that time. And so I knew I kind of had to go out there and start things again. I'd met Steve-O prior to that and got invited to come down to the Winter Nationals. Met Steve and spent some time with him. And over a couple months, it just worked out that I could offer. I had connections. I opportunities that I could present and help Steve-O out and Torrance Racing, and so that's where it took off from.
What types of duties do you perform during an NHRA event that a lot of other people don't get to see?
That's a good question.
You know what? That's a great question. There is so much that goes on. That's one thing I think a lot of fans don't understand, but there is so much going on. There's everything from helping a line or making sure that we're on time for either appearances or radio shows like yourself. There's also autograph signings. Sometimes there's lots of duties that's going on, making sure that our team is informed, or if there's things that need to be done, so that can help our team be informed and help take care of the little duties, so they don't have a lot of those worries. A lot of it is you got your social media going on, you got some of your marketing going on, you've got getting prepped for the races. That's a lot of things that I get to be a part of, help do, is getting us ready for the next race or the next couple races, so that everywhere from our apparel trailers to our fulfillment centers online, if you want to buy any of the Torrance Racing, and that's being a part of Instagram, Facebook, quite a few things. And if I have to go run an errand for Mama Kay, Steve, or Billy, so that we can keep things moving, I also am available to do that too. But also take care of our team. I think the biggest thing is take care of the team and make sure that we are on schedule for the things that I'm responsible for.
Right. So basically, you don't have an 8-hour day when you're at the track. Your day's more like 20 hours.
Hey, I tell you what, my hours are not as like the teams. Those guys, I mean, they're up so early, they're prepping for the day, and I get to come in a little bit later or help them. And it's there's some long hours, yes, lots of long hours that people don't see. I'll just put it that way.
Hey, Clark, I want to throw just a goofball question here to you a little bit. I know you're from the state of Utah. I've just got to ask you, are you a big college football fan, sir?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Who's your team out there? Is it Utah, Utah State, BYU?
Okay, so my daughter is going to Utah State, and she's dating the tight end. So I got a little bit of loyalty there. My wife graduated from BYU, and I have several friends who have played for BYU, and I also played professionally. The Utes, they've always, when Urban Meyer was here, loved him. And when he left us and went down to that what's that town called? Gainesville? He took a perfect season for us. Oh, man, the man. And we had Mr. Smith here, who that year was our big quarterback. And, so it's, I love college football.
Yeah, Mr. Whittingham is doing a great job out there, and I hear right now that the Utes are probably going to be a top 10 team starting out the season with everything that they've got returning.
You know what? And you know what? It started. Okay, hey, here's the thing. Just like our racing, just like in football, it starts at the top and comes down, right?
Right.
And the people that you have on your team, the people who play for you, the people that want to play for you, there's a difference than playing for somebody and wanting to play for somebody, or working for somebody and wanting to work for somebody. And the Utes, we need the Pac-12. We need to shake it up a little bit more.
Yes.
It's nice when we beat UCLA and USC and a few of these other schools.
Right. I gotcha. I
tell you what, while we were talking about Utah State, would you like to tell everybody what your daughter does in track and field there?
My daughter throws a javelin for Utah State.
What?
And, she's only been throwing for 2 years, and she's incredible. She's incredible. And that kid, I mean, her grades are incredible too, but she's got that work ethic that when she sets a goal, she accomplishes. So she's got some lofty goals, and we're working towards that. But she can throw the distance. Let's just put it that way.
There you go. Go ahead, Mitchell.
If you want to, you can tell us about your boys and what type of sports that they're also in. Oh
wow! Well, our oldest is at Utah State, like I just said, and she's in throwing the javelin, and she's in biology. She wants to go into medicine. My other daughter, who just graduated, she is in dance, and so she just graduated, and she's pursuing ballroom. And any of you that's been a part of dance in your lives understand that dominates your life as a family as well as with them. But you've got a daughter who's going to UVU who's an incredible dancer. And then my oldest son, I've seen a few pictures of him pop up there with me. He is basketball, very good at basketball, but he races. He was racing the kart series, and we were back in California where we were racing there each month, and did incredible. And then last year when COVID came on, we couldn't travel to California to race, so he took up supermoto on the race. And he's on the motorcycle. He's really doing that, and he runs cross country also. So he's very disciplined as far as an athlete there. My youngest, I'm actually out at the golf course right now. He's in a match play right now. And basketball, he is phenomenal. He is, tell you what, if he played for Florida or if he played for Gonzaga or Utah State, I'd be excited about that. But his golf game's pretty impressive too.
Yeah, I know you have some really, really talented kids. And
I know one thing. You mentioned Gonzaga. Hey, I'm a big Gonzaga fan, and Mr. Michael Heater lets me know each and every time because he happened to pick Baylor out of all of us, and I hated that, man, because I'm telling you right now, Mark Few has a thing out there, and they should have won this thing a couple of times, but it wasn't meant to be.
No, and I just grew up south of a couple hours south of Gonzaga. Always been my team. I remember as a kid hearing Johnny Stockton, NBA player, Hall of Famer, and you'd hear him through the AAU and basketball. That guy was unbelievable. But yeah, Gonzaga. That's my son. My son has got. I mean, that's one of his goals is that he has the potential to play college ball if he'll keep it up, and things go good for him, and he has that desire. And also, but as we know, go back to racing. It's the little things that make you incredible, perfecting little things, just like our team does at Torrance Racing.
Right. Well, the next question is, how does it feel to have that opportunity to be part of that team with the success that the team has had over the past few years, with the 3 championships. And right now, y'all are off to such a great start. We may be looking at a 4th. So, I mean, he's got a real good jump in the points right now, looking really, really well.
Well, we know it's a long season, as we know. And so as things play out, I mean, we had in 2017 that first one, there should have been a championship there, but because of situation that happened there, that it just didn't happen. But it's amazing. Had you told me that I'd be a part of a world championship team, I would have just laughed at you years and years ago. But it's pretty humbling. I think the humbling part about it is that you watch everything from that first championship when we swept the countdown. That was unbelievable. The guys gave Steve the car. Steve had 2 hole shots. One was in Maple Grove to beat Clay Milliken. The other one was a very last race there in Pomona to beat Tony Schumacher, both in hole shots. Unbelievable feat. And also, but just every time they came up, that focus was there. And it carried over to the next season and then to the next season too.
Hey, Clark, I know that you've elaborated on this a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and ask you the question. I've seen you jump into action before to help the crew get the car ready. During the turnaround period, is this something that you enjoy doing as well as your public relations side of your job?
You know what? There's been opportunities that present themselves in some little things I get to do and help out, and that either being helping with Gary measure the clutch disc, or helping to also do help pack the parachutes, or there's little things on the car that of course I can't touch anything else. They have an alarm that goes off if I touch things I'm not touching. But they just the little things that you can help and help add to the team that help takes them off so their focus is on the things they have to work on and do. Is awesome. It's nice to be a part of it, and the guys compliment you. you hear the laughter. I don't know if you've been in our pits, but you will hear music blasting.
Oh yeah.
You don't hear that in the other pits, but in our pit, who's ever got their music select, their choice of music goes on, and you hear people out there singing and with us or working, and it's just good motivation.
Right.
And you sure Mr. Hogan will not let you work on the Superchargers?
No. Hoagie does not even want me. I mean, he no.
Well, when you get away from racing, what things do you like to do personally away from the track?
Well, one is my kids. I really just enjoy watching them compete, and I love watching what they've done and watching them grow. Eating my wife is from Peru, and when she makes that good Peruvian food, of course, eating her food is one of the top things. But I love to fly fish. To get away up here in the West, I fortunate to really enjoy that and quite good at it. And my boys are starting to learn that now, so spending time with them on the waters and those good dry flies or wet flies, however, that's one of the things I really enjoy. And also just watching my kids race, and go and see racing too. Just getting away where you're not a part of it, and you can observe and see how people do other things in the different sports and see how you can apply it to yourself.
Right. And I tell you, it's got to be beautiful, out there fly fishing and the scenery that you have around you. It's got to be very humbling and relaxing all at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, when I go up to see my dad lives up by West Yellowstone and Jackson Hole, and that's where he lives in Idaho. And there's nothing like being on the waters and you see the Tetons right there. Or you see, you got moose walking by you, or, there's buffalo up in the distance, in certain areas where we go fishing. Or else just sitting out there and watch the eagles or these big old hawks swoop down and catch the fish where you're not catching.
Right. It's got to be beautiful. There's a lot of beautiful country out there. I got one other question to ask you, and you're probably going to laugh at this one. But do you think it might be possible for us to have Steve and Billy Torrance join us one night when, things kind of calm down in between races?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, both gentlemen, both Steve and Billy put on a great interview. And Billy is just as the man is successful for a reason, but it's so personable. And Steve-O, when you get Steve-O on an interview and you listen to him talk and how he just relates with you, and that'd be great. And I don't know if Mitchell has talked to you about it, but that's how Mitchell and I met, was at Gainesville.
He did.
And watching his son grow up and be a part of us. And that's one thing I'll put to you, is that family is not, we talked about the race family and our own personal families, but we've met lots of people who have become part of our family through racing that we've met, like Mitchell and his son and others. And that's the part that I think that's one of the biggest things I love, because when we go to Epping, Gainesville, Vegas, we get to meet these fans that we've got to know over the years, and we've seen their kids grow and be a part of them in a way also.
And I will tell you something about Zane. It is so hilarious. I'll be like, hey, Zane, do you want to wear your Torrance Racing shirt to school? No, that's my track shirts. That's for wearing at the track. That's what he'd tell me. That's my track shirts.
Hey, he's disciplined. He's already starting a good habit right there.
and what's so funny, when y'all won the Gator Nationals year before last with Don Garlett's scheme, which was actually in September because it was the postponed Gator Nationals, he goes, I've got to get some black pants. I'm like, what are you talking about, black pants? I got to get black pants so I match the crew.
That's
so
right.
He wanted some black pants.
Hey, Clark, we all know Zane, and we've loved having him around. And I don't know if Mitchell told you, but I do the play-by-play for the local high school team here, work for the local radio station, calling football games. That is my passion. And Zane has been up there with us, and it's just like racing. He's right up there hanging out with the boys. So I know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to Zane and Mitchell, that's for sure.
Well, Mitchell's story and Zane's story is pretty special to us, and how that came together, and with Mitchell, and then to get a picture of little man when he was first born, and then to get to meet him the following year was extremely special to us, and to be able to see that, and to know in Mitchell's heart everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's a real good kid, and we had talked before, he wants to race some junior dragsters and everything, and I basically told him, I says, you might not be able to have that opportunity because of your seizures if they don't go away, and explain to him all the other avenues of the racing industry, how you can get involved to be a team member, do public relations. I mean, the sky's the limit out there. Work for a track, work for NHRA. There's a bunch of different avenues for him to go if he doesn't ever get that opportunity, which we hope that he does. And when Zane's racing starts, Mitchell's racing stops.
I like that.
Hey, you know what? That's something that I think sometimes we're so focused on that we want all that attention as a driver for our wins and whatever, and that recognition. But you've got your track experts. You've got all these guys that add to our team, and they're experts in everything from the clutch to the blower to, the bottom side to the top side to being the specialist. You've got to know all this stuff. And if you become an expert in that field and it becomes your passion, oh my heavens. Guess who we're relying on? The guys come back and tell us what the condition of the track is. So that when we pull the car up, they can be able to put the numbers together and dial it in so that we can have a good run.
Right.
That's exactly
What
right.
is your most memorable? Thank you, Dave. Sorry, I got tongue-tied on that one. Moment at one of the tracks.
I've got three, and real quick. One was sharing our first world championship with my son. He was there with us in Vegas when we won it, and to be able to share that with him. There's a picture. I don't know if I sent it to you, but it looks like our guys are all piling on each other, and I'm sitting there. And just you see me kind of do this dance, and you see my son. He's holding the side of his head, and he's just like he can't believe what just happened. And that was special. And then the other one was sharing it with my younger son when we won our second one. And to be able to share those moments with them was incredible. But one that really stood out to me was when we had the wreck in Dallas, and that was an eerie feeling. That was a unbelievable feeling. A lot of emotions tied up in that with when Steve come out of the car. But the incredible part is that the car's totaled. If you ever seen the footage, you see the car's totaled. We go back in our pit. We pull out a car that has just the basic wiring together. It's not a proven car. Understand, we take months and months to put these cars together.
Yes.
The help that we had from everybody to put that car together in just over an hour and some minutes, and to get it back up there and to start that thing out was unbelievable. But something that stuck out to me, the Hall of Famer catcher Pudge Rodriguez with Houston and that. He was there and got to be. He come spend some time with me, and while we were putting that car together, we were sitting there watching it, and it was unbelievable to watch. He's sitting there watching us. Taking it, putting this car together, everything is going on, and he says to me, he goes, "Hey, this is a championship moment." And I'm going, "What are you talking about? This is a championship moment. How does that work?" He says, "Hey, you may not win the championship this year, but look how all these guys have come together and how they're working together, and they know what the goal is, and they're all together." Says if it doesn't pay off this year, it's going to add to the next year, because this is what the caliber of championship teams are made of. And I looked at him, and I'm looking at him going, "Are you kidding me?" It wasn't until the following year that I saw everything that we went through to accomplish what we did that next year, and that was one of those things that stood out. But here it comes from a guy, one of the best in his industry, as a catcher and what he's done. But that one is huge.
Well, Clark, I'll tell you, man, it's been wonderful and it's been great to have you. Thank you for giving us just a little bit of your time. I hope that we can interview Steve and Billy one night along with yourself as well. And yes, I do wear a 2XL on that Torrance Racing shirt, Clark. So we'll just bypass Mitchell and we'll just get it straight here.
I know the man that is the man that gets that stuff, so I can pull some strings.
There you go. I appreciate it.
Well, before we let you go, Clark, I just want to let you know. I want to thank you for your friendship over the past years that we've known each other, and your hospitality that you show us out the track. And Zane, he looks up at you
absolutely.
as well, and he's always excited to see you and see Steve, and it's just really something special that Steve knows him as soon as he walks up. He knows that's Zane, and all the people that pass through during an event year after year, out of all the tracks that y'all go to, that he can remember those special moments like that and remember Zane, because he always says, how's he doing? How's his seizures? Are they getting better? And I tell you, that whole Torrance family is a wonderful group. And I tell you, and I think I'm so excited for Steve, because he gets to take in that moment of having a family with him and his wife, now having a child. And it's going to be great, because I'm going to be able to see his child grow up year after year going to the tracks.
Well, I appreciate your comments, and you know what? Again, it's the Torrance family and Torrance Racing, and but it's again, it's family, and it's how we treat each other that matters.
That's right.
Thank you again, Clark. We appreciate it. We'll get back together here real soon. Maybe we can have all three of you gentlemen on one night. Thank you again for taking special time out from your family and the events that you're doing to come and join us on The Spot with David Rodgers. We really appreciate that.
Thank you, gentlemen, and go Capco.
That's right. Right here. Go Torrance Racing.
Thank you, Clark. That was
all right, guys. Thanks.
That was Clark Papke there, the public relations guy for the Steve Torrance Racing Team. Great interview. Out there in Utah, man, I tell you what, they call that God's land, Michael, at times. And I'm going to tell you what, there is some great fly fishing, some great mountainous things to do there. But he named one place that I would love for us to go, and that's Jackson Hole, Idaho, where we can go do some fly fishing. Buddy, I'm going to tell you what, you talking about a fun time. Can you imagine all of us guys going up to do some fly fishing?
I don't know, Dave. I'm kind of scared. I'm afraid that you might catch me one of them hooks when you do like this right here.
Oh, when I
grab my ear and rip it off.
Well, it'd be good bait.
It might be good bait, but I sure won't look as good.
Yeah, that's true. So, anyway, that was our first interview, ladies and gentlemen. We got another one coming right now, right behind this one. We got Mr. Andrew Riley coming up, don't we? So we're getting ready to dial him up, and as Mitchell's getting ready for him to come online, I just want to... All right, I'll tell you what, let's do that. We'll go to a commercial break. Producer said let's do a commercial. Let's do one. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Brought to you by Fun Point Food and Arcade, 1100 South Walnut Street in beautiful Stark, Florida. Fun Point is an all-in-one arcade and restaurant that is bound to raise your spirits, sure to please your taste buds, and the games will keep you entertained for hours. Fun Point Food and Arcade, 1100 South Walnut Street in Stark. Feel free to give them a call at 904-966-3380. Make a point to visit Fun Point.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers. Right alongside of me, our local guru, the guy that knows it all here within the region, Mr. Mitchell Gunner. Mr. Byron Bagwell, our other co-host, is missing tonight. He has to work, but I'll tell you what, we'll get him back on Tuesday night. Our producer, Dave Holland, back there flipping the buttons to get us these beautiful graphics. And our director and our writer of the show, Mr. Michael Heater, sitting over here to the right. Glad to have you along. We had a great interview with Mr. Clark Papke of the Steve Torrance Racing Team. He does our public relations. Great job by him tonight. And interesting job that he does, Mitchell, for Torrance Racing. And I hope to meet him personally one day. That would be great.
Just have to come out to the Gators and make sure that he's going to be there that weekend and meet him personally.
Yeah, now we've got a guy that I've been really interested in talking to right here. Hey, a hurdler, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
I tell you what.
An Olympian.
An Olympian at that. That's right. Hey, I wonder if he knows anybody on the Jamaican bobsled team. You think?
I don't know, David.
I'm going to have to ask him. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome in Mr. Andrew Riley. Mr. Andrew Riley, welcome in On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers, right along with Mitchell Gunner. Glad to have you on the show with us tonight, sir.
Oh, good evening. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Andrew, before we actually get started, for our viewers, we would like you to give you a minute for you to talk about yourself.
Well, definitely. I was born in Jamaica. I went to high school, kindergarten school, everything down there in school. I got a scholarship to go to Illinois. And from Illinois, I went into the finance program. I did my 4 years there. And then afterwards, I take it up. I did so good, well in the track and field area where I got a sponsor from Puma. And then I took it up professionally, and now I'm still doing it professionally, which I'm gunning for my third Olympics, this might be the last one.
I gotcha. So, Andrew, can you tell us when you first started running track, or what got you interested in track?
Yeah, definitely. When I was, younger, I used to do all the sports. I used to do cricket. I don't know if you guys know cricket.
I do know cricket.
Yeah, it's similar to baseball. I was doing that. I was also doing soccer, which, in the Caribbean, it's football. I also did volleyball when I was in school. And there was one day, there was this high jump in Jamaica, because of the limited resources, we used to have a sponge. And every time you jump on the sponge, you would always have those furs on your, back in your ear. So there was a sponge out there with some uprights, and they was doing some high jump. And then before, there was one evening after school, we always play soccer, and kids, we always play soccer or cricket or some different activities we try to do out there. And then I said, let me try to do the high jump, and that's where it all started, from me trying out the high jump. And then after that, I went to Calabar High School in St. Andrew, Jamaica, and I went there as a high jumper. And then afterwards, I branched off into different events, which a couple of years down the line, I did the long jump. And then I went into the hurdles. And then after the hurdles, I did the multis. So my last year in high school, I did the multis. In Jamaica, we had the heptathlon, which is 7 events. So They didn't have the pole vault down there. So that was a challenge for me. So we didn't have a pole vault in the multis, but I did that championship in my last year. I did the high jump, the hurdles, the 4x1, and the heptathlon. And after that, there was a couple of schools that were interested in me coming over to get a scholarship. But the school that really pursued me and really, I think, I interested in art was the School of Illinois. When I was looking at a school for university, I was definitely looking at a school that balanced the academics with also the sports. And Illinois had the perfect fit. So when I got recruited at Illinois, it was mostly because of my multi. It was definitely not because of my hurdles. But as we go back to where I started, in high school, when I was younger as a high jumper.
Well, Andrew, we actually have a pole vaulter. Michael Heater used to do the pole vault back in the day there. So if you need any pointers on that pole vault, Michael Heater is the guy to talk to. That's our director here.
Yeah,
right,
I
Mike?
I'm too old for that right now.
All right, Mike, who do we got?
David Versace from Pascagoula area up there in your neighborhood is on the phone with us. And he said he wanted to remind you about one of your former classmates, and then also he wanted to say hello as well.
All righty. David, good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Hey, we've got Andrew Riley, man, the big-time hurdler for the Jamaican Olympic team with us right here. Say hello.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how is it going?
I'm doing great, man. I just wanted to let you know, you remember a guy named Tony Dees?
I do know Tony Dees. I remember Tony.
He went to high school with me and David.
Tony Dees. Tony.
92 Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah.
So David, tell us about Tony Dees. What's he best known for?
I know.
He won the silver medal in the 92 Olympics, 110-meter hurdles, barely missing the gold.
Andrew, do you know him, Andrew? Do you know that name?
Sir?
Andrew, do you know that name, Tony D's?
It does ring a bell.
I
It
know
does
him?
ring a bell.
No, not you.
Tony D. Fortunately.
Gotcha. All right, Tony D's. Well, okay, good deal. All right, I do remember that.
So, Dave, do you have a question for Andrew?
Well, I didn't expect to talk to him, but I wish him all the luck in the world.
All right, David, thank you for joining us, and we'll continue on with the show here. We got Andrew Riley on. Andrew, that was one of my old classmates, and I forgot about this guy that I went to school with. So he won the silver back in the '92 Olympics.
Okay. Oh, that's impressive. That's very impressive. And thank him for wishing me good luck, too. I really appreciate that. Yes. I need all that luck.
There you go.
Yeah. And I tell you, you was talking about, doing all those events and stuff. When I was in high school, I was a decathlete as well, 3 years, breaking our high school record twice. As a team record, there was 4 of us, and I tell you, you have to be a pretty good athlete in all those fields to do really well. And I was never really good at the 110 hurdles, but I was really good at the 300-meter hurdles. I guess the 110s were a little too tall for me because I'm only 5'8". So
yeah, you gotta have to stretch those legs over those hurdles. Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
How was the transition from like running back in high school and then going to the college there in Illinois?
Well, first thing we got to say is the weather. We're going from tropical for about 80 degrees, 90 degrees all year round. So when I first got to Illinois on the visit, it was like probably below 0 degrees and snowing. So that was a cultural shock for me going there. But I definitely, when I went there, it wasn't really much about focusing on the track, but really to get an education, which being paid for my scholarship.
Right.
So when I went there, I was going to take it in stride, but when that cold hit me, I was having second thoughts. I was like, "Wow, this is out of my league."
What did I do?
So it was something that I had to adjust. And they had an indoor facility, and we trained there. And after I gradually for the second year, I adjusted pretty well after the second year.
All right. Hey, Andrew, can you tell us about the remarkable day back in 2012 at the NCAA Division I Outdoor Championships?
Oh, yes, I can do that. Leading up to that year, the reason why I started doing the 100 meters because I've never won the 60 meters indoors in the Big Ten Conference. And I felt like I'd run the hurdles so many years, I want to challenge myself. So I said, you know what, in my last year, I'm going to try and see if I can get some more speed. So that being said, I tried to work. I had the speed for 40 meters, but how do I maintain and keep that strength? So I try to, whenever I get the 250s and the 150s, I try to give it my best because a lot of times with athletes, they believe that those distance are not, they don't like those distance.
Right.
But I embraced those distance over in my last year, and I got stronger. And ultimately I won the 60-meter indoors at the Big Ten Conference, which later at the indoors I came second to Jeff Demps by 100 of a second, second behind him. But outdoors is just me trying to see where my speed at. It wasn't me trying to go out there and said I'm going to try and win the 100 meters. And every time I go out there and try to run the 100 meters, I end up running faster. And at the Nationals, fast forward to the Nationals, that day I woke up, I felt great. It was the best I felt in a long while, and I felt like something special was going to happen. And because I was challenging myself to run these 250s and all these 150s and stuff, that's what got me the race at the end, because at the last part, everybody started tying up, and we were at the same distance. Everybody was so close.
Right.
Like almost the top 3 people ran at the same time, but by, I don't know, thousandth of a second separate the winner from, second and third place. So that's, and then after that, the hurdles, which was the second day, I did an interview after that with flow track, and it was like, if you win the hurdles tomorrow, you'll be the first guy. That was the first time that has ever come into my mind. I've never thought about it before, and it's a good thing I didn't think about it, because if I did that back then, I probably would never, achieve that. But after that being said, I couldn't sleep the night before the race. I couldn't sleep the night before the race, and then when I woke up, I told my trainer my neck hurts, and he was like, "Okay, let me do some trigger points to see if I can get the neck loose or something like that." And I just went out there and tried to win the race, and that was history.
Right. Now, you're only one of 3 guys who have actually accomplished that type of feat, correct?
No, the only guy.
You're the only guy. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So the only guy. That's great.
Yeah,
So the only guy that accomplished that feat. All right, that's awesome. What else you got for me?
What can you tell us? What other accomplishments that you have achieved on and off the track?
Well, on and off. Well, on will be the 2012, and making 2 Olympics teams. 2012 and 2016. Also won the Commonwealth game, gold medal in 2014. My biggest accomplishment on the track is me finishing up my degree, finance degree, 4 years, which I think that program was a pretty intense program, and for me to be able to be successful, be a student athlete, which means you got to be a student before you can be an athlete.
That's right.
That's right.
and would you saying that that's one thing? That's one of the things that we have to push toward our youth as they make that transition from the high school level to the college level. That their education is number 1, sports is number 2. And and sometimes it gets a little lost because depending on what sport that you're in, say for football per se, you got two practices a day, and also you have to try to attend those classes as well and keep your grades up and your eligibility. And the biggest thing is sports that one day will end, but the education that you have attained while being in college will last forever.
Yeah,
exactly. That's correct.
I've got a question for you, Andrew. Do you know Mr. Bolt? Usain Bolt?
Not personally, but the year when he was competing, I actually met him at the games.
Is he going to go with you this year?
No, he retired 3 years ago? I think 3 years ago, 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, about 4 years this time. Yeah.
Gotcha.
We know that you have been doing a lot of training with Grant Holloway over there at the University of Florida for the upcoming Olympics in Tokyo.
Yes, sir.
When training with each other, does that help you and Grant push yourself to become in better shape, to help each other with better form over the hurdles? Does that kind of help, having that extra person there to work with you instead of, working by yourself?
Yes, it definitely is, because, with the hurdles, the biggest thing with running the hurdles is the hurdles itself is your competitor, because you gotta run over for 10 hurdles, and if you sometimes, if you focus on other guys in the race, one misstep might help you, getting hurt. But the thing with me and Grant we practice together. With me being older, I can tell him certain stuff that he can work on, and I can tell him certain cues that, if I see something in practice, even though coach probably might mention it or I might say something to coach. And also he can help me because he's the world indoor record holder for the first 5 hurdles. So his start is always, he has a great start, and most of the times he will help me a little bit with the starts. And I think most of us help each other along the way. The World Championship that we were at in the 2019, I think me being there with him kind of helped him to feel relaxed a little bit, because being at the game for the first time, it kind of nerve-wracking him being for his first time competing on a world stage and at the World Championship. So we help each other, tremendously, practicing together.
Does Mike Holloway come out there quite a bit? and what
Yeah,
y'all?
he's always there at the track.
Yeah,
He's the
Mike
coach.
Mike Holloway. I have known him ever since my years of running track in high school. He used to coach Buchholz High School, and while I ran for Bradford, and he is a wonderful, excellent guy. I remember being at the state meet, and I actually was running against. We was running it actually was the Florida Relays, and we was running a 4x200, and Brains had two. They had twin brothers, and they brought an A team and a B team to run. Well, they were number 1 and number 2 in the state in the 200 meters.
Wow.
So when I got the baton, I was right there with them all the way in, side by side. And I remember Mike coming over to me and saying, "Man, you have gotten fast. Do you know what you just ran in the 200 meters?" And I said, "I don't know, 22?" He says, "No, you run 21. Y'all three were flying." So, and he pretty much lives there at that track.
He's definitely with that track every day.
But super great guy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got Andrew Riley on, Jamaican hurdler right here. Another question for you, Andrew, and you sort of answered this a little bit. What types of training helps you increase your speed as you go over those hurdles?
Well, definitely once you do with anything from a movement of your body from point A to point B, you got to incorporate the science of physics into it. And with the sports that we are in, it's time, it's really pretty much time management. It's a time management business, which means all to get from point A to point B in the least elapsed time. And the same thing with the hurdles. Once you become a professional doing the hurdles, you have to see it because everybody is fast. So you have to look at ways where you can be as quicker over the hurdles and as quick as in between. So a lot of the times with our training that we've been doing, we do a lot of sprints on the flat, which help us with our frequency with the speed, but also try to work on certain techniques, which means with the trail arm, it's not supposed to come above the head, but mostly close to the body. And if you have seen a skater on ice, whenever they try to spin and they try to go fast, their hands and everything is close to their chest as possible. Even if you ever seen a high skater, whenever they're doing the spin and they're trying to go as fast as they can, they wrap themselves up close. So that's the same thing with the hurdles. We try to keep as everything as possible, as close as possible to the body, so that we have a quicker movement over the hurdles. As one coach told me before, the hurdle is a sprint interrupted event. So it's not, you don't jump the hurdles, you run the hurdles. So it's a sprint interrupted event, which means the hips placement should be the same. All you got to do is lift the legs up and use the hands, and pretty much you go over the hurdles and lift the legs up, the trail leg, which is the leg at the back, to come over the hurdles. So we work on a lot of that, especially hand movements, and in between the hurdles, a lot of speed work, a lot of hurdles together, pushed up from the original mark where we work on quickness, and also a lot of hurdles, like 13 hurdles down the track to work on speed endurance. And we do, the 250s and the 300 for stamina and the 60 meters for speed.
Yeah, I know, I ran the hurdles as well, and when going out there and helping out coaching at our high school, and that's what I told them. I says, you've got to run through the hurdles like you're going to run through them, but you got to get over them. And I told them the best way that you can do that, I said, while you're sitting at home watching TV, put your trail leg in the trail position, put your lead leg straight out, and sit there and do your steps and reach out to your foot. Do your steps, reach out to your foot. It's repetition. You just got to keep on doing it and getting better and get used to that motion. And once you got that motion put down, it becomes a whole lot easier for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly right.
I agree. I totally agree.
Andrew, first of all, what part of Jamaica are you from, by the way? I've had a couple of viewers ask me that.
Okay, I was born in St. Thomas, Jamaica, and then I moved to St. Andrew in Jamaica. That's in the Red Hills section. That's like 30 minutes away from Kingston.
Okay. All right, gotcha. How does it feel to have the opportunity to represent Jamaica, your home country, on one of the biggest stages in the world? Of course, we're talking about the Olympics. And by the way, as you answer this, hey, we all root for our countries, but I tell you, I wish you the best. And if you win the gold medal, I'll be just as happy for you as if our guys won it.
Thank you so much. Well, definitely, to represent such a small country is always, it's always a proud moment to put on that color, the green, black, and gold. It's always a proud moment to represent my country. I've always watched the Olympics. I remember in 2008 watching the Olympics where, Asafa was the guy to win the 100 meters, but that was the birth of Justin Gatlin when he won that Olympics in gold medal in 2008. And I never thought I was going to be able to, be at the Olympics or anything because I wasn't thinking that far.
Wow.
So, but when it do happen, 2012, it's just a proud moment, and then to go to the opening ceremony and to see all those other countries, and to be walking with your teammates and with that flag is just one of the moments that you really cherish in your life.
Wow. Thank you for that answer, Andrew. That's a great answer. What you got, Mitchell?
I think this is our last one for you. And as we wrap up stuff, we have some kids that watches our show quite a bit.
Yes.
And with those kids thinking about participating in track and field, what would you tell them to help lead them in the right direction?
Definitely. When I would say have fun, but also be competitive. I think, when you're so young, you don't want to take it too seriously, but we're the point where you can't accept losing or stuff like that. So I believe you should, have fun, be competitive, and you're just trying to do your best you can. A lot of times kids, they try to feel like, they want to push to, and then when certain stuff, stuff happens, they kind of break down and not know what to do. But every time I see the kids, I always tell them just to have fun, because that's what happened to me. That's what I was doing when I first discovered high jump. I was just going to go out there, going to have fun, and somehow it takes me to Illinois and to the Olympic team. I don't know how that, but that's what I was doing. So just have fun and be competitive, and that's the most important stuff I can say.
Right. And with kids today, it's hard for them to have that work mentality with all the distractions that are out there now. And, you probably didn't have those distractions, and I didn't have those distractions at our ages going through it. And, I always tell my kids, I says, that football player that you're playing on Xbox? Yeah. I said, do you think he sat around and played Xbox all day? I don't know. I says, no, he didn't.
No,
he was
didn't.
Out there working hard every day to be the best that he could possibly be.
Yeah, because if you really want it, you really have to go out there and really work at it, which means you got to study the event. You got to be a student of the event or whatever sports you're doing. Because, as you said, when I was younger, after school was just soccer and play around. That's pretty much, I didn't know was playing games. I wasn't on my phone. Just me being active the whole time when I was younger. And, after that, I go home, I do my homework, and, but it was just me being fair from an early age. And one of the stuff I can also say for the kids is that if you really want to be successful in any area, you just got to work at it, and you got to be a student of it, which means with the information here on your phone, there's no point in time that there's no reason for you not to learn about your sport by just Googling certain information on your phone, because the information's right there.
Right, exactly. I tell you what, I want to thank your wife for helping make this happen.
Sure thing.
You have a super nice wife, and she was a pretty good athlete herself.
Yes, she was. She was 3 times high school Jamaican champion. So
wow.
Yeah.
Hello. Andrew, is this your second Olympics or first that you're going to?
Well, we got to go through a trials, and this will be my third.
Trials.
Right. Okay. And I'm sure you're probably going to make the team. I have confidence in you. How's it going to feel? Just give me real quick how it's going to feel as you're coming out, opening ceremonies in Tokyo, Japan, and all those nations and everybody there watching you. Just tell me how that will feel a little bit, if you can imagine it.
Well, see, if that happened, it would be not a problem to get to present my country 3 times.
Okay. All right, Andrew. Hey, thank you for taking time out again. As Mitchell said, I want to thank your lovely wife for getting this set up for us. I want to thank Mitchell also for setting up this interview. Hey, love to have you on again. And maybe, hey, after you got that gold medal hanging around your neck, that would be great.
You know where to find me. You know where to find me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, Andrew, we appreciate you again joining us. Thank you for the wonderful interview and just taking time out of your schedule, and hope to do it again soon.
Sure things. Thanks you guys for having me. It's always a pleasure. Just trying to share as much as I can. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
That was Andrew Riley. Hey, hopefully Jamaican hurdler that's going to represent Jamaica over there. Man, wouldn't that be something if we're all sitting here and we see him we're watching him win the gold medal?
It'd be
awesome.
awesome.
Oh, man.
It'd be awesome.
Hey, Shirley would have to catch me off the dadgum chair. I'd fall out. Hey, get the smelling salts for the guy. Hey, it's been a really great show tonight, guys. I want to thank you, Mitchell, for setting up those 2 interviews. Great people.
No problem.
Wonderful people. Dave, thank you for putting the graphics together and then the pictures. Michael, thank you for the write-up of the show and the way that you had our questions out there for us. It's been a great show so far. I want to get a final weather report. Mike, can we get a final weather report? Do we have one?
Well, yeah, I thought we were going to.
Oh, okay. But I'll tell you what. We'll come back with final comments, and we'll do the weather within those final comments.
All right, Dave. Yeah, we got a little bit of a heat spell coming in and joining us like that one. But, hey, it looks to be a picture-perfect weekend across North Florida. However, the temperatures are going to be climbing. Austin talked about it earlier. Look at temperatures rising into the 90s, and the humidity is going to be on the rise as well. Would not be surprised to see some triple-digit heat indexes as we go through the time. Be aware of the fact that this weekend is going to be one of celebration for a lot of people as far as getting out. Even though it's a somber occasion, a lot of people use this extended holiday weekend as the chance to celebrate the unofficial first day of summer. So people are going to be out on the boats. They're going to be out on the roads. Make sure you're very careful. Everything from wearing sunscreen to protect your skin to designating a driver to protect your life and all points in between. Again, looking at temperatures going to be in the 90s, lows once again in the 60s. No chance of rain in the near future, but as Austin said, look for the increase in humidity and the chance of returning thunderstorms as we move in through next week.
Wow, Michael, thank you again for that great weather forecast.
So
Woo!
You're telling me racing Saturday and Sunday, I better wear some sunscreen, or I'm going to look like
a lobster,
a light on one of those fire trucks.
Yes, you got that right.
You got that right. So, again, really great show tonight, guys. Final comments. I just want to thank our guests, Carl Papke and Andrew Riley, for joining us. Clark. Yes. Yeah, glad. What do I say? Anyway, Clark. So I want to thank him for coming on. Both of those great interviews. Thank you for setting those up. I know that you want to tell our viewers a little something about our guests and what you may have coming up.
I'm actually going to try to reach out to some ladies athletes.
Yes.
It could be racing. It could be track and field. It could be a lacrosse player. Just trying to get some other avenues in here. And not just talk about racing all the time. We may also, I'm going to try to reach out to Joey Logano.
Yes.
And maybe I can make that happen as well. But I know we have a lot of women viewers that watch the show, and I think they would be very interested if we can get some ladies on here to explain what they do.
Yeah. And Michael Heater's also working on some things through the Jaguar organization. So hopefully maybe we can get some strings pulled through that and maybe have a couple of guests that maybe some people already may know. And I think that would be really great for the show and our viewers as well.
There you go. Absolutely.
So-
Yeah, we're looking at, we got a couple of mutual friends. For those of you that are Jags fans, Jeff Loggeman, who is a former player, is still involved in the Jaguar organization and does some media and public
Radio
relations
voice,
work and
yeah.
the radio voice like that one. So yes, we
Yeah.
are trying to lay the groundwork to have some NFL involvement in the show as well.
Yeah, that's great. All right, guys. I just want to mention one more thing or two more things. Mary, yes, we were praying for you. Mary texted me earlier today, and they said they found a spot on her back. Don't know if it's cancerous or not. Really in pain. So, Mary, we know you are a top fan of our show. We will definitely be praying for you. Prayers go out for you from our team. That's for sure. Also, Slice and Dice Barbecue, one of our sponsors as well, Chris Davis and Casey Napier over in Lawton, Florida, bringing up that great barbecue, great hamburgers, just great food, period. Want to thank them. Love them with all of my heart as well. And we've all eaten there, and it's really good.
Right. And speaking of Slice and Dice, I'm actually trying to help David here
Yep.
to put on a cruise in there
Yep.
one afternoon. I believe we're looking at June the 12th.
Yes, that's the date.
I will not be there to run it, but just gentlemen right here next to me will.
Yep, exactly.
I'll actually have to be out on a hot track again that weekend too. But
Racing. Oh.
Yeah, and I'll probably have Michael Heater there as well. Michael, all the boys will be there. So, on behalf, great show tonight, guys. Thank you for helping us out. Great show tonight. On behalf of the missing Byron Bagwell, my producer, Dave Holland, you heard him right here, the weatherman and director, Michael Heater, right along with Mitchell Gunner. I'm David Rodgers. God bless you. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. Be safe, as Michael said, and remember what this weekend is all about. God bless you guys. Good night, and we'll see you Tuesday night.